So we have a few stories to get into today concerning Peyton Royce and her latest comments about Shawn Spears and leaving WWE, as well as Triple H's response to the big leak. Let's start off with Peyton Royce and Shawn Spears. Peyton and Shawn first got together while at the WWE Performance Center towards the start of their WWE careers. They were both brand new to the WWE at the time and quickly started dating. Shawn, who was known as Tye Dillinger at the time, made his debut in 2017, and his girlfriend, Peyton Royce, made her main roster debut a year later. So they got called up to the main roster just around the same time, and got to travel with each other for a while until something changed. It was clear that Peyton Royce had a bright future ahead of her on the main roster, but things weren't so good for Shawn Spears and his Tye Dillinger character at the time. It was clear that WWE never had any real plans for Shawn, and he was getting tired of sitting on the sidelines when he knew for a fact that WWE would never probably use him. That's when all the AEW hype came up, and they were recruiting talent for their roster. That's when Shawn started to think of the huge decision to jump over to AEW and leave Peyton over at WWE. The couple has mentioned numerous times that this was something that they talked about in great detail and approved with each other. So Shawn Spears was released from WWE and was quickly picked up by AEW. In the first few months with AEW, Shawn Spears has already been used more than he ever was with WWE. So it's safe to say that he made the right decision. Everyone had many questions about Shawn's move because he just left his wife over at WWE and went to AEW. But like we mentioned before, the couple did approve everything among themselves. They just wanted each other to be happy with their careers, so that's why they made the call. Peyton is happy in WWE, and Shawn can now be happy in AEW. It's a win-win for the both of them. Peyton Royce recently sat down for an interview with Chris Van Vliet and revealed some new things that we didn't know before. Peyton talked about how Shawn Spears had to leave in the middle of their honeymoon to wrestle. She had this to say about the entire situation. "We were on our honeymoon, and smack dab in the middle of it was the show. So he flew from Hawaii to Chicago and back to Hawaii for the second leg of our honeymoon. I was so happy for him and proud of him. Even up until this point, the world has not gotten a glimpse of how talented he is. He is on another level, and I can't wait until he finally gets to show the world." So quite the interesting reveal there by Peyton. They are so supportive of each other's careers that they're willing to do things such as leave in the middle of their honeymoon for his match. All this took place last year. It was Shawn's first huge match for AEW, and he didn't want to miss it and use his honeymoon as an excuse. So they both made the trip over there for the show and then flew right back to Hawaii to continue the second half of the honeymoon. Of course, the big question here, especially when the Iconics were off of television for a long time, was if Peyton Royce would leave the WWE to join her husband at AEW. Peyton Royce addressed all that and had this to say about the topic. "No, it was never a thought for me. I wanted him to be happy and needed him to be happy. Wrestling is such a small world. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone is friends. So many of my friends are over at AEW and they have friends with us. It's not as crazy as people who have these strange ideas." Peyton brings up a great point that we talked about a handful of times before. Peyton and Shawn aren't the only crossover WWE and AEW couple around. You have Britt Baker and Adam Cole, Renee Young and Jon Moxley, and so many more of these couples that are in different companies. Just because one person goes to a company doesn't mean that their significant other has to jump over to the company as well. There's a lot of couples out there that definitely make it work. Same thing goes for the friends as well. There's a lot of WWE superstars that are friends with some of the AEW talent as well. Just because they're on competing shows doesn't mean that they dislike each other. Sometimes that's just how people understand it. But Peyton made it clear that they're both still very happy with the decision they made for the both of them. This is a great time to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A large amount of our viewers still aren't subscribed to the channel, so click that button if you enjoy what you see. Let's get back into the stories. Next up is a huge story concerning Triple H and the massive WWE leak from last week. So you may have ran into it last week. I know I came across it several times. But the main event result of NXT's Great American Bash match between Keith Lee and Adam Cole was leaked and spoiled about a week in advance. The leaked picture showed the confetti celebration with Keith Lee holding up championship titles, and it really hurt the build-up and anticipation to that match, because just like that, we all knew the winner right away thanks to the leak. There's no real fans in attendance, so you might be asking yourself, well, how in the world did it leak out? Turns out that it was one of the WWE's own employees that leaked the image a week in advance. WWE and some fans try to cover up the leak by spreading the rumor that WWE filmed multiple endings to the match to try to discredit the leak. But that multiple endings rumor obviously wasn't true. The leak didn't hurt the actual match. It was still a great match, and both men did a phenomenal job. It's just not the best feeling when you go into a match already knowing who's going to win for sure. It just sort of takes a lot of the fun away from watching the match. Well, now that the match officially aired and everyone has seen the result, Triple H is finally addressing the leak and giving his thoughts on the controversy surrounding the main event of the Great American Bash. Triple H had this to say when talking to Sports Illustrated. "I thought we had an epic show last week, and this week's show is something special. I know there's a little bit of controversy around it, and this won't be the first time I've taken upon myself to manipulate that process. But what I can tell you is that this main event delivers. Adam Cole and Keith Lee, I think it's a dream match between our top two performers from 2019, and they deliver here. People are going to be very entertained. When you look back in a year, a match like this is going to make the demand even greater for the Great American Bash next year." So it was a phenomenal match. There's no denying that. The main issue a lot of fans have is the leak. Obviously, WWE didn't leak it themselves. Someone else did, and WWE can't control what this person did to leak it. But I think WWE could have done a better job to patch up and cover it up a bit more. We heard the rumors that multiple endings were filmed. Maybe this was just a rumor that came from WWE to try to discredit the leak. But just the rumors of multiple endings being filmed wasn't enough. We needed more evidence that multiple endings were filmed to throw us off even more. For example, the second Keith Lee celebration picture leaked online. I think it would have been best for WWE to leak the Adam Cole celebration picture as well. If you really recorded both endings and one just leak the other ending yourself so that you can protect the outcome of the match for the fans. Because now fans would be seeing pictures from both outcomes of the match. They wouldn't be able to tell which one happened and which one didn't. I just think a situation like that would have protected the outcome to the main event a bit more than what they did. So WWE really dropped the ball there. They could have done something more to cover up the leak, but they decided not to. What are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Did you like what Peyton Royce had to say about the situation with her husband? And did you like how WWE handled the big leak for NXT? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.